The result was an England win in this first round of 3 for the Texaco Trophy, a win by 6 wickets. They take £4,000 at this stage. That's very comfortable indeed. And the man of the match was Gladstone Small. He was appointed or nominated by Dennis Amiss. And the West Indies have made one change in their side. We'll just take a look at the 2 teams there. England unchanged, but the West Indies have taken out Roger Harper, the off-spinner, and in comes the 20-year-old Trinidadian fast bowler Ian Bishop. The weather here at Headingley has been sunny and fine, and the forecast is good. The toss is won by Viv Richards, who put England into bat, and we'll join it now in the second over. It's the 4th ball. The score is 5 for no wicket, and Ambrose is bowling to Gooch. That's a better shot. And Ian Bishop will learn that down the hill here at Headingley towards the rugby stand, the ball tends to race away from you. Well played by Gooch, 4 runs to him.
Yes, fine shot here by Gooch, straight through, not trying to get it too much to mid-wicket, hit it back just mid-on-ish.
Walsh to Broad. Despairing dive from the fine leg boundary.
Yes, Broad just using the pace, turning it round that hill, and it really speeds away. And in fact, Bishop dived too early there, and the ball nearly hit him on the head. So he's having a little bit of a mare in the field to start the day, is young Bishop.
It was quite a task, Raymond, when you think he played 8 first-class matches. He did get a game against the Pakistan tourists, but not in international cricket proper. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Oh, the ball's racing away at Headingley over this outfield. The outfield looks smooth and manicured, but this long spell of dry weather has quickened it up, and that was always going for 4.
Yes, this was a good stroke. Short of a length outside off stump, played with more or less a straight bat, and the ball just speeding away just behind square on the offside.
Certainly 2 runs. Great return from Malcolm Marshall. There he is, and puts Viv Richards in something of a dilemma, does Marshall, because he is his best strike bowler, more likely to take wickets, and yet, as Raymond has pointed out, so essential in the closing overs of a one-day international, that he has some overs left. Oh, fortunate there from Gooch, 4 runs, but good piece of bowling, and one of the occasions where Ambrose goes wide and then holds the ball up.
Yes, I think it has been banging it in short of a length, getting him on the back foot. That occasion he pitched it well up, and Graham Gooch just that little bit slow in getting onto his front foot, which is to be expected when you've been pegged down for 2 or 3 hours on your back foot, and the ball going up just wide of second slip. But again, the tremendous pace on the outfield, and that really did speed away.
Oh, there's a goal. Fine delivery and beautifully caught. Coming back inside edge. Fine bit of bowling.
Yes, it looked as though it came back on Chris Broad. Inside edge, and Jeff Dujon behind the stumps took a fine catch. So the first break for the West Indies. Here it is again. You can see where this pitch is, and you'll find that it's coming back quite a wide angle, and it just came back on Broad a little bit. You see his feet both off the ground, and look at that marvellous catch.
Sconsolate Broad. Like any run-hungry batsman, always disappointed when he's out, but generous applause for the England captain, Mike Gatting.
You just see that dismissal again. It's quite a short delivery. Lifting, and you'd expect that to slant away towards the slips, but it just held up a little. And Chris Broad jumping at that.
Malcolm Marshall.
Yes, one of the great fast bowlers of all time.
Oh, there's one going the other way.
Beautiful delivery. Just moving that ball away from Mike Gatting. Oh, tremendous delivery.
Ian Bishop. He's coming in to replace Curtly Ambrose. And a tense moment for the 21-year-old. Well, what a useful delivery.
My goodness me. It's a magnificent delivery. Bouncing, leaving Graham Gooch off the pitch. He got very close to it, opened him out. Malcolm Marshall coming into Graham Gooch. Hook, beautifully timed, 4 runs. It's the first attacking shot Graham Gooch has been able to play for quite a long time, and it's one of these things, I think it's one of these pitches where the harder you knock it in, the slower it comes off, and that very, very short indeed, and Graham Gooch just rocking in behind it and paddling it round. A very welcome stroke from an English point of view.
Looks rather impressive, Ian Bishop. There was a feeling that he might have been kept out of this match and put on ice for the test matches. So it's an orthodox stroke, but it's certainly very effective. That's the worst ball Bishop has bowled, and Gatting took full advantage of it.
And in fact, Mike Gatting finished up it in this with one hand. Right hand there coming off the bat. But it didn't make much difference to the pace of the ball. It certainly flashed away to the boundary.
The 50 up in 114 balls faced, 51 for 1. It is. Gatting is 10 and Gooch 23. We do have with us in the commentary box at the moment Dickie Bird, who'll be standing on Monday at Lord's. That'll be his 100th international match. I'm not sure about the business of giving Bishop a man deep at point, and he just seems to me now to be straying a bit. That last over from Bishop has helped England's run rate. It was above 3 up to the 10th over, and from the 10th to the 20th over. Oh, it's a no ball. Marshall has been going over the line. Every time he puts a little more into it, he seems to be called for no ball. He really steamed in there at Mike Gatting. Ball kept a bit low as well, and may have beaten him for pace.
Well, this has always looked on. He was going to beat Mike Gatting. Seen there the bat really coming from about gully towards mid-wicket. So that means he's obviously been done for pace. Never got on line with the bat at all, but fortunately a no ball.
Oh, well caught. Very sharp chance. Richards took it. Marshall takes revenge for the no ball call early on. Gatting got that pretty much off the meat of the bat, and Richards took it very well.
Yes, Viv Richards quite deep in the gully there. Mike Gatting driving, a bit on the up, not quite getting quite into it, and the ball going waist high straight to Viv Richards, making no mistake there. And really, you've got to say that Malcolm Marshall deserved that.
Brilliantly caught. It came at a very awkward height for Richards. Monty Lynch, it's his birthday today. And here's Marshall. LBW, Monty Lynch, LBW to Marshall. And Marshall has bowled extremely well, even taking into account the number of no balls. He's bowled with pace and got plenty of movement. And it was the movement and the pace there that defeated Monty Lynch.
Monty Lynch has a fault. It's the fact that he just plays stood still, doesn't go either forward or back, and he's looking to go forward here, but really just finishes up on the crease. The ball pitched in round about leg and middle, and just holding it from the leg side.
Alan Lamb is the new batsman.
And Phil Simmons, a surprise choice from Viv Richards, but useful little medium pace bowler. Well, the first real width he's given the batsman.
Alan Lamb really trying to whack the cover off this one and going over the top.
And he's given him. Caught down the leg side. Well, my word, what a way to get a wicket. And there's Simmons. We were all wondering why he's on to bowl, and there are the happy men. One outside off stump, one outside leg stump. Lamb threw the ball at both, missed one and just edged the other. And now England in real trouble.
Yes, sad ending for Alan Lamb.
Now Pringle, in the middle of a very difficult situation for him. At least he can play properly and normally now for either side of lunch for a few overs, because England badly need a rescuing partnership.
My goodness me, that shot didn't produce too much confidence.
Phil Simmons will bowl the first over after lunch, and Graham Gooch is taking strike. Well, there's a good start for Simmons. He only bowls medium pace. He was a surprise introduction to the attack before lunch, and now he's taken a wicket with the first ball after lunch, with Gooch trying to punch away on the onside and being well caught at point.
Oh, certainly looked as if that moved out a little bit. Graham Gooch certainly looking to play on the onside, and the ball going to squarish gully, and that's a real reward for the West Indies straight after lunch. Right across there, and certainly a fine catch there in the gully. That's a real bonus for the West Indies, just trying to get rid of a few overs from Simmons and Richards before the quick men come back, and Simmons has picked up 2 wickets.
Paul Downton is the new batsman for England. Assurance about that either. It's produced a very valuable 4 runs for England. Bentley Ambrose not able to get around in time.
Yes, if there'd been a slip on, that'd have been straight into first slip here. Just a little bit of outswing. Nothing wrong with the wicket there. The ball just swung in there and kept going, and Pringle there just circular backlift and pushed in through it, and that would have been a straightforward catch to a slip. But no slip there, so 4 runs.
To run in the end, and Richards is not happy about it, but it was a brilliant piece of fielding. 9 came from that over. Perhaps that might cause Richards to give Simmons a rest once the two of them, Richards and Simmons, have got through those 11 overs. Simmons has bowled 5 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 12. Richards 4 overs for 10, so each has another over to go, and then Richards could bring back his frontline bowlers. Tough going for England out there today. Pringle is 10, Downton 7. Oh, he's put him down. Gordon Greenwich, who hit the stumps, gave away the overthrow in the last over. It's a very safe pair of hands. He's dropped Pringle.
Yes, Pringle failed to get fully forward, and that really was a pretty comfortable catch. Waist high, slight to his left, and Viv Richards won't be too impressed with that.
Richie Richardson, but he's not tall enough. Perhaps 12 feet would have been the mark, and Pringle has hit Richards for 6. Into the 39th over now.
Richards just a little bit short of the length here, and Pringle just picking it on the up, and the ball carrying way back into the crowd.
It's gone squarer this time. Instead of hitting it through to cover to Richie Richardson, Downton has got it square of the wicket for 4. Ian Bishop. Well, suddenly Pringle has taken charge out there. He's hit Viv Richards for 6 and for 4. The 50 partnership between Pringle and Downton's come up in just 61 balls. It's a game fight back. Logie is very, very fast around the outfield. Brilliantly done. It takes a very quick runner and a very agile man to stop anything in that area of the ground. The ball runs downhill all the time, and you only have to look up for a fraction, take your mind off the job, and suddenly it's going over the rope.
Pringle caught at the wicket with a typical one-day dismissal, and there ends a very valuable innings from Pringle, caught by Dujan off the bowling of Walsh, and having got England just so far, there's the end of his innings of 39.
And a shot that Derek Pringle has used a lot in this innings to get singles down to third man, just getting a thin outside edge, and very simple catch for Dujon, but a very fine innings from Derek Pringle. He really has surprised the majority of us by the way he's played in this one-day series.
Now, if anything lifts early, then usually Embry either hits it with the bat or it misses everything. There's not a lot else behind it. Walsh to John Embury. Quick single, well run by Downton. That's the 150 up in the 45th over. In the 46th over, Ian Bishop to Paul Downton. Brilliant catch. My word, wide. Downton just reached it. Dujon not afraid just to stick one hand out. Most keepers might have got there with two, but the result was still the same.
And Paul Downton looking to go on with things here, driving at that, just swinging away from him a bit. He hasn't really moved his feet, and Dujon taking a one-handed catch there, wide, would have been just about in front of second slip, I think. He's had a fine day behind the stumps, Dujon. But a very good innings by Paul Downton. He and Derek Pringle have given England just a faint chance in this match.
That's how the overs have been shared out, and the wickets. And all of the West Indies bowlers, with the exception possibly of Richards, have threatened. Bit of a surprise. Here we come with Walsh to Embury. This time Embury getting room for his favourite square cut. So probably be 4 runs racing away down the boundary. That's 4 runs, so 4 welcome runs for England. And none better at John Embury than fashioning something out of almost nothing.
Yes, a slow delivery from Walsh, not very well directed. John Embury giving himself room and clipping that through to third man. 4 welcome runs for England, and the surprising thing about those figures is the bottom 2, that Richards and Simmons have bowled 17 overs between them, which means that the top 4 quickies are not going to bowl their full 11 overs each.
Walsh to De Freitas. And there's a good shot. Picked that one out, and 4 good runs.
That really was a superb stroke. Philip De Freitas so quickly back to pull that. He really did crack that very hard over mid-wicket.
Good shot of the pavilion and dressing rooms. Embury out. Caught at mid-wicket to give Bishop a well-deserved second wicket. There goes a disappointed John Embury, who never really fired away today, as he can do, because he's played some splendid innings for England.
Yes, never really got to terms of this, trying to hoist this over mid-wicket and getting it very high on the bat and just spooning it up to Curtly Ambrose, who takes a very comfortable catch at mid-on.
Man of the match in the first game at Edgbaston. No mean performer with the bat.
Port Ambrose bowled Bishop for 8. Just 3 overs to go, and Malcolm Marshall returning to the attack from the Kirkstall lane end.
Oh, quick and very nearly 2 straight for De Freitas.
Looked as though it went over the top of the stumps. Corner of the off stump. Beautiful delivery.
Well, an attempted big one from De Freitas, but at this stage of the innings, you've got to get bat on ball.
Yes, he's trying to hit it in the right direction there. There's no one deep at mid-wicket. And wide open gaps. If he just gets it on the bat, that'll be 4 runs over there.
Eight deliveries left. This time making room and all, eluding Geoffrey Dujon. Certainly 1 by, looking for 2 and going for it. It'll be tight. Well run there from De Freitas.
4 runs were added, 186 for 8 in the 55 overs. The trouble was, no one knew quite how good a target that was. We'd seen Gooch struggle 31 overs for his 32, and then the fine stand between Pringle and Downton of 66, although Richards and Simmons were bowling then, not the fast men. Really, how solid was this target? How difficult would it be for the West Indies to catch up? The West Indies bowling, well, the surprise there, I suppose, is that Malcolm Marshall, easily the best bowler, 2 for 29, did not complete his 11 overs. There was also a chance of Ambrose completing more than his 7. But that's the way Viv Richards played it, and that's the way the figures turned out. So 186 for 8, 187 to win, and the run rate required just under 4 per over. So let's now join the West Indies innings. We'll do that in the second over. The score is 2 for no wicket, and De Freitas is bowling to Simmons.
And that's what the England batsmen had to go through most of the morning. Turn now of the West Indians.
Oh, quite a lot of bounce there for Philip De Freitas. No doubt Simmons starting to play, and you see the ball there carrying head-high to the wicketkeeper. Well, De Freitas going past the outside edge again to Simmons, and a little bit of fortune there for the West Indian opening batsman.
For England in this endeavour to keep West Indies down below 187. Beaten twice outside the off stump by De Freitas. Phil Simmons might just have got an inside edge there, back onto the off stump, but that is precisely what England needed.
Yes, De Freitas thoroughly deserving this. Past the outside edge twice, and that time going between bat and pad, and that's a useful wicket, because if Phil Simmons stays in for a few overs, the ball really flies around the ground. But he never really came to terms with De Freitas that over. Simmons bowled De Freitas for 1.
Richie Richardson is the new batsman. Beautiful ball. Richie Richardson goes. Dilley now has got through. A wicket each to Dilley and De Freitas. Now we've got a real match on our hands. Ball darting around off the seam. England bowlers knowing the conditions well. And 187 the target.
This may well... No, I don't think it swung. It just went out a little bit off the seam. Didn't really do anything in the air, but that was just sufficient to catch the edge. A straightforward catch there for Paul Downton behind the stumps. And West Indies now 11 for 2 with Richardson caught Downton, bowled Dilley 1.
Now then, this is the moment for Vivian Richards. He comes out now with the total at 11 for 2. Greenwich is 7. Richards naught, not faced a ball yet, and England fighting back magnificently. Gatting is at first slip, Athy at second. And they've almost been brought into play.
Yes, I don't think Viv Richards too impressed with that. That was really taking off again, and definitely played at it, and very, very close to that outside edge.
Maybe safe there, but not by much. There was just that momentary hesitation where Gladstone Small had to turn and balance himself to throw. Not much in it.
No, I think probably Viv's in rubbers and definitely slipping out of the green on the edge of the wicket. see the run out there again, and Viv Richards diving back, and the bat bounced in the air, but it did just go down again just before the ball hit the stumps. You see the bat go up there, and then just goes down that split second before the ball hit the stumps.
It's a great shot by Richards.
The sign of a great player. 2 or 3 deliveries have beaten him, caused him a lot of problems, and as soon as a couple of deliveries are just off length or off line, and away they go to the boundary.
Here's that incident again, the near run out for Richards. Just keep your eye on umpire Shepherd, David Shepherd. And he has got himself from behind the stumps into perfect position with his head turned. And I promise you there was only a matter of an inch or two in it when the ball hit the stumps. And it was a very good piece of umpiring. Change of the bowling. Graham Dilley goes off after an impressive spell. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 16. And cleverly Gadding has brought on Gladstone Small, who took Viv Richards' wicket at Edgbaston. He did take it per medium of a magnificent catch by John Embry at Gully.
Oh, and there it is. There's the wicket for Small, forcing Greenwich into the error. And now the game's on. Gordon Greenwich caught at the wicket. He scored 21 and West Indies 38 for 3.
Oh, I'd be very disappointed with that shot. He's such a magnificent square cut, and he's really just fiddled about with that one outside the off stump in this innings. And here he's not really hitting it, he's just sort of dobbing it down. And a little outside edge. You see how that ball bounced, Downton taking it just in front of his chest, very high up. So a great strike for Gladstone Small in England.
There he goes, front, then back, and really the footwork a bit uncertain, and that's the answer. Small only having bowled 3 overs and having got a wicket. Whether or not Gatting wants him at the other end, we shall see, but certainly a fairly strange bowling change. Dilley it is for the first ball of his second spell, and that's 4 runs. Round leg stump, and Richards needs no second invitation. That brings up the 50.
Graham Dilley the bowler and Viv Richards batting. Oh, it's dropped him. Chris Broad at mid-off. Right through his fingertips, and Richards has a few sharp words with himself there. He's got to hit the bad ball because it's very much the seamer's track, and yet you have to take chances like that. Tom Gravener.
Yes, Richards driving at that. It's not really a half volley, and quite honestly, that's the sort of catch that you've got to hang on to.
Gladstone Small, he's had one spell of bowling, 3 overs, 1 for 5, and now it changes ends up to the Kirkstall lane. He's out, played on, really attempting a very similar shot to the one he played at Edgbaston, and he middled it and got caught at point, but this time it was the thick under edge of the bat, and Gladstone Small has once again removed
Viv Richards.
We were talking about that marvellous defensive technique that he has, and really this is very wide, wayward delivery, and he tries to flat bat it square on the offside, gets a bottom corner into the off stump. You can say it's a little bit unlucky, but really, you know, it's not the sort of shot to play on this wicket where the bounce hasn't been consistent. We're very disappointed West Indian captain there leaving the field, and that opens things for England a little, because he's the sort of man that can win a match on his own without any trouble at all. So the first 4 in the West Indian batting order back in the pavilion.
That's out. Again, Gaslogi flipping across the line of the ball, and this time Monty Lynch gets into the game. Well done, Monty. Happy birthday, and well bowled, Graham Dilley.
Yes, well, I've said that Gaslogi has that bat on the floor and he flips at it, and that's exactly what he did there, flipping across the line. He hit it right in the middle of the bat, but watch the line of this bat, the way he moves across, and it flipped up. He hasn't moved his feet at all, and he picks out Monty Lynch beautifully. And that'll make Monty Lynch a little bit happier on his birthday.
New batsman is Jeff Dujon. Yes, I'm very happy for Monty Lynch. It's quite a difficult business coming into international cricket, any level, and just to get into the game with your hands around a catch, it's all very comforting.
Yes, and we always say you can't hit the ball when your feet are together. And Gus Logie's feet were very close together then.
67 for 5.
There's been a change in the attack again. Derek Pringle coming on from the Kirkstall Lane end.
Well, that not only darted back, but I suspect it kept a bit low as well. This is looking a very impressive England performance now. They've scrambled their way to 186, and now they've fought back and taken 6 West Indian wickets for 83. Geoffrey Dujon bowled by Pringle.
And I think Dujon was looking for this to get up a little bit higher, but in fact it didn't bounce. It bounced quite reasonably and hit 3/4 of the way up the middle stump, middle and off. It came back off the seam. It was a very, very good delivery indeed. You'll see that ball hit quite high up on the stumps. So I don't really think he had much complaint about the bounce of the pitch there.
Cooper is still there on 2. Marshall about to face his first delivery. Now it's Graham Gooch, and he's going to bowl to Malcolm Marshall. What a marvellous catch that is by Paul Downton. 7 down now, 84 on the board. That was very well bowled by Graham Gooch. I don't know that he'll be able to do that on every pitch on which he plays during the remainder of his career, but it was a good delivery here today.
Yes, a little bit of a way swing and a little bit of movement off the pitch, a lot of movement, and an absolutely magnificent catch by Paul Downton there. Tremendous stuff from the keeper. He's had a marvellous match as well.
And that'll be 4.
Pringle just erring a little bit on that leg stump, and yeah, definitely played glance. It wasn't a nick.
And he's given it. Pringle strikes again. Hooper departs. And that's probably West Indies' last realistic chance. 104 for 8. Hooper leg before wicket to Pringle for 12.
Yeah, well, Hooper there getting across the wicket rather than going forward. Set off to go forward, and then didn't go anywhere. And the ball just pitching round about the off stump, hitting him below the knee pad, and slightly straightened up from leg.
That's 104 for 8. And really, that was a big, big blow. Courtney Walsh to come in to see what he can do with Curtly Ambrose, but the cause which seemed almost lost at tea hasn't certainly improved since the interval. Gatting adjusting the field. He's got 2 slips, and Philip de Freitas has been brought back now. Oh, and he's dropped him. Probably 3 attempts. That would have been, I think, the first slip catch of the day. We've had 7 behind the wickets, but no catch to that area yet.
Well, very, very straightforward slip catch, really. Walsh fending at it, in fact trying to get his bat out of the way in the end, and really very gently do only 2 goes.
Well, that's runs. 4 runs. Just how these tail-end partnerships develop from very small beginnings.
Change now from the Kirksall Lane end, and Derek Prindle coming back into the attack. He'll be going to Ambrose.
They've asked for that, and they've got it, and Curtly Ambrose has gone. It was a brave innings. He stuck around there with Courtney Walsh. In fact, he scored more runs than Courtney. But he goes in the end. The partnership that might have taken the West Indies up with a chance of victory has finished on 28. Ambrose and Walsh.
Yes, at long last, the little edge. There must have been 30 deliveries bowled like that, and none of them have caught the edge. But just on this occasion, a very faint one.
John Embry to bowl to Courtney Walsh. Ian Bishop as the new batsman. Well bowled by Embry. It was the Yorker who's been trying to get through. That is the end of this second one-day international. England have won, and they've won the series as well. A fine performance from Mike Gatting and his men.
So that's what the final card looks like. Just 2 moments of doubt, I suppose, in England's mind when Greenwich and Viv Richards were together in the early stages. And then that amazing prolonged partnership between Ambrose and Walsh towards the end. All they needed to do really was to bat out the overs to win the match. There was no pressure of run rate on them then. But that's how it all happened, and full marks to the England bowlers. The seamers came up trumps, 2 wickets to Dilly and 2 to Small. But Derek Pringle, 11 overs, 3 for 30, a fine performance by him. In fact, the result is official, 47 runs, and the England selectors, of course, well justified in the selection of this Texaco Trophy squad, which incurred a little bit of doubt, shall we say, from many of the pundits. And, of course, Derek Pringle was one of those doubted, but he, in fact, had 2 fine matches, and this time he is the man of the match, appointed by Brian Close. Position into bat.